Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Starladder Season 7. We are here with Day 19. That's right, just cruising on through that initial 30 days of Starladder Season 7 action. Today, we've got 5 matches coming at you, and there's going to be a doozy to start things off. Navi going to be facing off against Virtus.Pro today in game number 1. Oh, is it going to be a good one? Now, we talked about in the pregame here a little bit, Navi currently 3-2, if I'm not mistaken. I'm actually going to tab out and double check because I don't want to be called a liar here. Navi, exactly right, 3-2, 3 wins, 2 losses so far in Starladder Season 7. They are tied, well, one of the teams that has played very few games so far. They did get started a little bit later, and Virtus.Pro, they're in rough shape. They are 4-6 right now, 4 wins, 6 losses. So Virtus.Pro very well may choose to experiment a little bit more right here. I think it's going to be grim for them to qualify in that top 8 group to move on to the next round of this season, and we've talked about how Virtus.Pro really needs to experiment. They need to try and figure out what their style is and how they work as a team. We talked about how it could be a case of too many chefs in the kitchen, all very great players in their own right, but one of the issues is, do they have a leader? Do they have someone that they all can talk to and follow along? So we are going to see Navi here again with one stand-in. I believe that's Pycat. He's been their stand-in here throughout, so it wouldn't surprise me to be him. We'll double-check once we get in the match, though, and of course they will have Puppy, Havost, Dendy, and Kuroki. Now let's talk about this draft a little bit as it is getting underway here. Virtus.Pro did start us off with the first ban on Abaddon, something we've been seeing a little bit more and more here, and they are going to second ban Outworld Devourer. Navi just going to take out the classic Bat Rider Wisp combo, no big surprise there. So that will open up for a first pick Naga Siren, Darkseer Lifestealer going to be grabbed by the Navi, and Weaver going to be that second pick for Virtus.Pro as we go into that second banning phase. So Naga Siren first picked yet again. It's so weird how we see patterns fluctuate here in Starladder Season 7. We see instances, string of days where Naga's first picked every single game, and that's it. And then we see other days where she's banned first every single game. And then we've seen days where she's just totally ignored. She makes it into that third, fourth banning slot, and nobody really seems to value the Naga all that much. So it's really interesting how these different teams tend to take different takes on these various scary heroes. So a fairly even draft so far to start things off. Both sides with scary heroes. Navi going to set their offlaner there, a little Darkseer, and they're going to commit to the Lifestealer. So Navi very well may be looking for some of those mobile heroes coming up here. Nature's Prophet always works nicely with the Lifestealer. We've seen the Spirit Breaker Lifestealer combo a couple times as well, so they very well may have a go at that. Virtus.Pro going to third ban out the Puck, and Navi actually going to take their time here, and they are going to ban out the Bounty Hunter as their third here. And Virtus.Pro going to take Rubik off the table. Not a big surprise there. All very scary heroes that Virtus.Pro are banning out here. Of course, Kuroki loves to play that Rubik, so I think that's a smart ban. And Puck, we saw Dendy play Puck yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, and to great success. So Puck, obviously a very, very powerful hero. We've been seeing more and more of Puck recently, which I love, because Puck is really... he's just good. He's just good. I don't know how else to say it. I just like him. He's got so much utility, so much mobility, and surprisingly tanky with that little phase shift there. So again, folks, I am slated to solo cast today. I am Zyori. Thank you for joining us on Dota Radio. Those of you in Twitch chat, hello and welcome, and feel free to keep me company. I'm going to be paying a little more attention to Twitch than I would normally with my co-caster, just to try and fill a little bit and see what you guys are talking about. So please feel free to keep me on my toes, especially during that drafting phase. Always love to hear what fans of the respective teams have to say about their draft and, well, what they're up to. I'm hoping Virtus.Pro does something a little different here. Right now, they're off to a pretty normal start. Naga and Weaver, again, a lot of versatility there. They could throw that Weaver in a tri-lane with the Naga, or they could off-lane the Weaver. We've seen both work just fine. Now, the final ban going to come out from Navi, or their fourth ban, I should say. It is going to be Doom to go with that Bounty Hunter. So an interesting ban from Navi that makes me wonder what they're going to try and grab here. Doom is one that we've seen quite a bit. Perhaps with that Rubik banned out, they're extra afraid of the Doom because Rubik is a pretty solid counter to him. If you can steal the Doom, it does work quite nicely. And we've seen Doom more and more. I'm not a big fan, honestly. I don't like Doom all that much. I think he's kind of flavor of the month a little bit. He has some potential to hard carry, but it hasn't worked as well. I think more often than not, I'd love to actually compound the statistics, but I think more often than not when we see Doom try and take that hard carry role, it just doesn't work as well. It really doesn't, especially if there's a hard carry on the opposition. So a little surprised to see Navi ban him out here. I think Lifestealer would do fine. He is annoying in that kind of position 3, though. When he does go move into the jungle and picks up some of those support items, grabs the auras, very irritating to deal with. He can get a little bit, a little nasty there was sucking up those creeps. We did talk about his ability to grab crit and that 30% damage aura as well. So, Moobot, oh no. Alright, I may have to tweak Moobot settings again. I still can't get Moobot to work the way I want him to. But Navi going to go ahead and grab Visage here as their third pick. Virtus.Pro going to go ahead and pick up the Chen. I like it. And I don't think we've seen Virtus.Pro play too much Chen. So that's kind of interesting, going to be exciting to see. I wonder if that's a little bit more of a deny pick as well. We've seen really Alliance and Navi, the two teams that have been valuing the Chen a lot. Both of those teams have grabbed Chen sometimes in that first, second picking cluster. You know, Ake in particular, Puppy probably would have wanted the Chen here. So interesting that Virtus.Pro going to grab him usually when they wouldn't have. I have to guess that would be an opportunity for them to experiment a little and also just deny a powerful hero that Navi would usually be quite interested in. So, fourth pick, going to go over to the side of Navi to go with their Visage, Lifestealer, and Darkseer right now, and we'll see what they want to grab here. Still a lot of options for them. Probably going to want to try lane with that Lifestealer. I still think Nature's Prophet on the board. Navi going to want to go ahead and grab themselves a Furion. He's just so valuable with the Lifestealer and just as a hero in general. I mean, we love to see that Furion action. So good in the off lane. He's solid in the mid lane as well, and he just adds that global dynamic. Sometimes you take those team fights, all of a sudden you think you won, you look back, and whoa, Nature's Prophet is knocking on your front door, taking out your tier 3 towers. So, in your base, killing all your buildings. So, no, they're going to go with the Storm Spear. All right, a little panda action here. I know he's not really a panda, but he's a panda to me. Interesting choice. So they are going to grab their mid hero, and that makes me wonder a little as well. Is that Storm Spear just a little tiny bit of bait? Because usually I think Navi would want to save that mid pick for last, so they don't have to worry about getting countered. But they're just going to go straight for the Storm Spirit. What I love about the Storm Spirit pick is he does pair nicely with that Lifestealer, that great mobility for the surprise inside. So he does work with that strategy I was going for, and they very well could go for a Nature's Prophet here. The only problem I have with this is I don't see Virtus.Pro grabbing Storm Spirit here. You know, I think Nature's Prophet is so much more of a valuable pick, and there's still so many mid options on the board. Not that many scary mid heroes have been banned out here. I mean, I guess Puck is off the field, but still plenty of options. Could be a pudge game. You never know. Clockwork here going to be grabbed for Virtus.Pro as their fourth pick to go with Chen, Weaver, and Naga Siren. So they're going to go ahead and grab their off laner. They're going to have Chen, Weaver, and Naga. Virtus.Pro just going to need to pick up their mid laner here. And Navi going to go ahead and ban out Mirana for their final ban of the match. And Virtus.Pro going to have an opportunity to take off a hero of their choice. And Navi going to need a support here, I think. They're going to want to offlane that Darkseer, of course. Throw Storm Spirit in the mid, I think. Lifestealer, Visage, what's going to be their tri-lane? I don't know that Navi is particularly fond of Jakiro, but it could definitely work well right here. Perhaps someone with a disable. They could try and run a Lina, a Leshrac. Any of those would be fine right here. Of course, all skill-based stuns, so maybe not the best, but still plenty of damage output to try and deal with that Naga Siren.
Navi's turn to pick.
So there it is, Jakiro, going to be that final ban from Virtus.Pro. So, sorry, I'm glancing at Twitch chat, folks talking about spammers. You know, I have the link that they banned in the banned words. So give it a sec. Moobot might be slow, but he should be able to find him. Right now it's set that Moobot will ban the... how is it set? I have banned words in Twitch, and he'll time out people that used banned words from Twitch. And those Russian spammy links are banned words. So, Moobot, why are you supposed to make my life easier? So, Navi, ooh, alright, I was just talking about Crystal Maiden this morning. It's cold here in New Jersey today. I was feeling like Crystal Maiden this morning when I awoke with my cold little phalanges. And Navi, maybe they were listening. You never know. Crystal Maiden, Storm Spirit, Visage, Lifestealer, and Darkseer are going to be the roster for Navi here. Pretty solid lineup. They've got a lot of really scary heroes. What I like about Navi's team is there isn't a lot of huge team fight synergy here. You know, this isn't one of those Echo Slam, Black Hole, Replica Wall, just mega ult teams, but they have such an amazing laning phase. Darkseer, great in the off lane. You can't really ask for a better choice. Storm Spirit, a fabulous mid hero, depending on who Virtus.Pro grabs here. And Crystal Maiden, Lifestealer, Visage, all three great heroes, especially in a tri-lane. Visage can put out a lot of damage, as we've seen from that Soul Assumption early on. And Crystal Maiden, we always talk about how great she is early. She falls off quick, but oh man, does she start off hot, or cold as it may be, because she can really put a lot of pressure out early on in that tri-lane. with the Frostbite, Crystal Nova synergy. And of course, we can't forget about the Aura. The Aura is absolutely huge. That gives Navi such an edge in the laning phase. +1 mana regen forever. And that's a lot of mana regen. It's kind of almost, I mean, it's not really a 1-point wonder because the ability is great in general, but it almost is. 1 point early on, and it allows your team to be just so much more aggressive in that laning phase, especially Darkseer. He's going to be able to spam those low mana cost abilities even more. So, alright, Virtus.Pro going to grab a Queen of Pain. Fascinating stuff. I wouldn't have thought that they would grab a Quap to go up against Storm Spirit. It's definitely not that Queen of Pain is bad or anything like that. But she's not that strong hero. We have certainly seen her work. She does get out of control from time to time, but I think she's going to have a little bit of a tough time against the Storm Spirit. That's going to be my guess, but this is one of those mid matchups that really comes down to player skill. I don't think one hero particularly counters one over the other. And again, what's interesting about mids is this is a game where we see Timbersaw totally ignored. I think Virtus.Pro could have grabbed a Timbersaw right there, and he would have made Storm Spirit's life hell. We've seen how much damage Timbersaw can do, how out of control he can get. Shit, we've even seen Dendi himself playing the Timbersaw. It would have worked just fine against Queen of Pain here. So an interesting choice from Virtus.Pro, and we will see how it works out here as we do load in to game 1 of the day. So let's go ahead and introduce our rosters here. It looks like we know how most of these lanes are going to settle down. Navi, Havos going to be playing the Lifestealer to start things off at the bottom lane. We will have Dendi playing on the Storm Spirit, right now headed to the mid. And, well, it looks like there may be some lane shuffling here. Darkseer is going to be played by Pycat, and right now he is in the Radiant jungle. He very well may just jungle here. This may be one of these games where Navi just sacks the off lane, and they just let their little Ishkaf get farmed, and I'm stuttering because I just want to look and make sure this is Pycat. I want to look at the profile here. No, this is Igor. Pardon me, this is not Pygat. Okay, I'm glad I checked. This is Igor. So this is their more random stand-in, so to speak. So hopefully I don't misspeak there. Glad I double-checked on that. So Igor going to be the stand-in. He's going to be playing the Darkseer, and right now he is headed into that Radiant jungle. That means Kuroki going to be the one playing on the Visage, going to be supporting there the Lifestealer in the bottom lane, and of course the other support going to be Puppy, and that will be Crystal Maiden he'll be in control of, and he's going to be headed down to this bottom lane after warding up top. Going to throw down a sentry and throw down an Observer ward right near that top rune. So yeah, exactly right. Igor just going to start off in the jungle. So we will see a jungling Darkseer here. He may very well rotate into that top lane. Similar flavor to what Nature's Prophet does as those creeps push in to maximize his farm potential. Now let's look at our dire side team, Virtus.Pro. Light of Heaven going to be playing Clockwork here in the bottom lane. I'm sure he's going to be doing some fancy work with those cogs, knocking the creeps into the trees here and getting a little bit of lane control early on. And if we hold our camera here, we may be able to observe. Oh no, we're going to move right into a pause. That'll give us some time to introduce the rest of the team. In the mid lane, we are going to have Queen of Pain being played by Resolution, of course, going toe-to-toe against Dendi on that Storm Spirit. Going to be a fascinating mid lane to watch. Interesting that Resolution's the one going mid. Generally, God is their mid player, so an interesting mix-up there. In the jungle for our Dire side, Go Black going to be playing on the Chen. He's going to start off in the Dire jungle, going to be able to grab a Dark Troll Summoner to start things off. And there it is, Light of Heaven going to use those cogs, use the deny, and then, oh no, they get stuck in the trees. Silly creeps, they don't know where to go. So that will give him just a bit of lane control here early on. Oh no, he's going to mess it up. Oh man, may still help, but not so clutch. In the top lane on our Dire side, we'll have Naga Siren being played by NS, right now doing what good supports do, just stacking and pulling in the jungle. And up in the top lane, God himself going to be playing on the Weaver, and he's going to be all solo up here in the top lane in complete free farm mode. Again, Ishkaf is in the Radiant jungle, so Weaver going to be having a fine time. He's going to be leading the way in last hit, sitting 7-1 to start us off. But a good thing for Lifestealer, he's going to have pretty much free farm as well. That delay in the creep wave going to help give the Weaver a little tiny advantage early on, but it will level out. And Havost really shouldn't have too much of a hard time farming here. We see Clockwork already, Light of Heaven. He's going to walk back to the well. He's going to try and block and delay the creeps as much as possible, but he knows he's not going to contest. He's not going to move past the river. He knows how aggressive Kuroki and Puppy can be on the Visage and Crystal Maiden, respectively, in an early try lane. So very smart of him to stay back and play that defensive Clockwork and not overstep his bounds. It's bad enough that Lifestealer is going to be free farming here in the bottom lane. You don't want to make it worse by adding insult to injury and feeding a couple of those unnecessary kills. Now if Clockwork, once he hits level 2 at least, he'll be able to block this spawn that will prevent from stacking and pulling here. in the bottom lane, so that will help, but of course he is going to need level 2. He did go Cogs level 1, so he needs level 2 to grab that rocket flare. Let's take a look at the mid lane here and see how the last hits are going, and it's actually pretty damn even. Dendi actually getting slightly outlast hitted here. He is 6-2 against the 7-5 Queen of Pain, so a very, very even mid matchup. But if we look at the difference in regen here, Queen of Pain already almost out of regen, has 1 tango left. And both sides quickly working towards those bottles, both with about 500 gold in the bank. Getting to that time when the initial bottles are coming out. Opening builds on just about exactly the same. I didn't check how many consumables were pooled on both sides, but they do both have the double GG branch, 1 null talisman build, and it looks like they each had a solve as well as a set of tangos pooled from the supports. Pretty standard mid builds there, no big surprise, but already Virtus.Pro, they want to pick on Dendi. Go Black here, he's going to be on the Chen, he's got a Centaur, and he is going to smoke up with NS on the Naga Siren. He's going to throw down a Sentry, and he is going to counter a ward, and that will burn the smoke. So Dendi knows exactly what's going on here. NS going to go ahead and grab the Illusion Rune up in the top rune spawn there, and he's going to head back into the jungle. So Dendi going to luck out a little bit there. I think they may have been able to kill him. It's a great time to pick on a Storm Spirit when he's pre-level 6, and he is only level 4 right now. Dendi going to come forward. The Centaur leading the way, and that will just box him out of the lane. If that was a Dark Troll, perhaps they could have set something up, but indeed it is just a Centaur, so not going to be able to connect with the level 4 Storm Spirit. Both mid heroes now going to have their bottles. Queen of Pain with a full bottle. Dendi going to grab his and sip it all the way down, and we're going to see a little bit of a last hit, or pardon me, a little poke and exchange here in the mid lane, and Dendi is going to sip up that bottle once the shadow strikes off, and of course he is going to crow. Both sides bottle crowing, no big surprise there, all pretty standard stuff happening in this game. No complaints, both sides doing exactly what they should be here as we approach the 4-minute mark. No kills on the board quite yet, both sides on their respective sides of the map, and the hard carries are free farming, really not much to do. Both sides just sitting back, farming away. Yeah, big shout out to Vlada Dada. It is Igor, not Pycat. Again, to mention for Navi, the Darkseer here, their stand-in, the Carrot 1. That is Igor, their buddy from what Reddit tells me. He's just what was the exact quote? A random Russian that Dendi found online. It was something like that. They just played a game with him in a pub, and they're like, "Oh, you seem pretty good. How would you like to stand in for Navi?" I can just picture Igor just like, okay. Why not? I got nothing better to do. I have nothing better to do than play with Navi. Shit, that's pretty awesome. So let's take a look at starting items here. God on the Weaver in the top lane. He's now going to hit level 6, and he's going to go ahead and go early power treads. Interesting choice. And normally when we see Weavers get early power treads, that means they're planning on being a little bit more mobile. They're not going to be farming for quite as long. We've seen Weavers on occasion grab the Hand of Midas, but more often just go for that super fast Lincoln Sphere. And here he's not going to do that. The power treads first. It could just be personal preference, but generally that's an indicator that Weaver's planning on being a little bit more mobile and helping out the lanes, perhaps grouping up as a team. Now, Havo's going to do the complete opposite. He's going to go ahead and go for Hand of Midas first. He's going to get it right around that 5-minute mark. The Courier are going to deliver it right now. So that's a nice early Hand of Midas. That's about as early as you're going to get it without getting a tower kill within the first couple minutes, or a first blood in the jungle before creep spawns, something like that. So Havo's going to be farming very nicely. And that means Navi going to be playing very passively for the next at least 20 minutes or so before Havos really gets that farm, and at least allows the Hand of Midas to start to pay off a little bit. Hopefully for their, at least for their strategy, what they want is this Storm Spirit to snowball a little bit so Dendi can get a few levels ahead, have that bigger mana pool to move around with the Ball of Lightning, and then perhaps they can start setting up some ganks with that Life Stealer. Probably going to grab the Phase Boots, the Armlet, and Basher. A pretty standard Life Stealer build out there, but of course, we talked about that kind of global presence a little bit with the Ball of Lightning. Not exactly global, but a similar flavor to a Lifestealer Furion. You can hop inside Dendi there, use the Ball of Lightning to engage, and all of a sudden you got a Lifestealer coming at you. 6-minute rune going to spawn here. It is going to be in the bottom lane. Kuroki on the Visage going to move out of the jungle and try and keep it safe. Light of Heaven going to come down here as well. That's a level 4 Visage, a level 2 Clockwork. Kuroki actually going to engage on him. He's going to grab the rune. He's going to slow him. Going to use the Grave Chill. He does have a Soul Assumption up, but only one charge it looks like here, so not going to be able to do a lot of damage. He's going to throw a Lane Ward down in front of the tier 2. He's going to do a lot of damage to Light of Heaven. Kuroki going to dive it. Down he goes. That's going to be the first blood. Light of Heaven going to pay with his life. Just really testing the waters against the Visage. perhaps underestimating the amount of damage that Kuroki could put out right there, especially with a double damage rune, and that's going to give Kuroki a great bit of bonus gold there, as well as now going to be level 5. Fabulous news for Team Navi. And let's look at the difference in gold and experience here. Before that kill, Navi already leading by about 1,000 gold. A lot of that coming from their laning setup here, and they're going to have a nice experience lead as well. Some of that also going to be the Midas. They are just going to slowly out-farm them here, as they do have one Hand of Midas compared to none on the team of Virtus.Pro. And also, that is going to give an experience edge. We can't forget that Hand of Midas does give 2.5x experience, and hopefully we'll see Havos use that Hand of Midas to its fullest potential, move into the jungle, and you really want to use it on those big creeps to be able to grab that extra bit of experience. It really does help you get those levels a little bit more quickly. We're going to see Virtus.Pro try and pressure this tier 1 tower in the top lane, but Igor here right on the money. He is now level 7, so he's had a fine time in the jungle on that Darkseer. He's going to rotate to the top lane, and he's going to repel the efforts of God a little bit. He's going to put that Ion Shell on the creeps and help repel the lane, doing what a good Darkseer should. The glyph was burned by Navi, so this top tier 1 tower down to about half health. We're here just about the 8-minute mark, so this is a pretty late push for Virtus.Pro right here. This has been basically an undefended tower the entire match, and they didn't press it as early as they could. Now Darkseer is going to be able to come up here and put a lot of pressure on. Near the side shot, or the secret shop on the Radiant side, Go Black on the Chen going to come in, and he is going to bump into Puppey, and I always forget about this, but Crystal Maiden, a great counter to Chen, and we saw it right there. Going to be able to use the Frostbite on the creeps, and that does limit the potential of Chen a little bit. Of course, Chen's early game potential is having those multiple creeps, and if you can take one off the field, that can limit Chen's potential there a little bit. At least rotate the spell rotation he can do. Down here in the bottom lane, 8-minute mark, it's going to be an illusion rune. They're going to engage on Resolution. He's going to be forced to blink. Resolution going to be in trouble. He's level 2 blink. Oh no, the electric vortex, down he goes. He'll get engaged on by Havost and Dendi on the Lifestealer and Storm Spirit. That's going to be an easy kill for Navi, and now Dendi going to be able to pull ahead in that mid lane. He's now level 8. Now, Queen of Pain also level 8, but he's going to get that bit of bonus gold, and now things are going to get a little bit more difficult for Virtus.Pro. That Lifestealer did pick up the last hit, so now their carry is going to be out farming the likes of the Weaver. If we take a look at that net worth chart, yeah, absolutely. Lifestealer at 4.3k, and the Weaver sitting here just around 3.9k or so on that net worth chart. Dendi going to pull ahead of Queen of Pain a little bit as well, not by a huge amount, just by about 300 or 400 on that net worth chart, but it makes a difference, folks. In that mid lane, every little bit counts. Virtus.Pro still struggling to finish off this tower in the top lane. Now NS and God going to press up and take it out. 9-minute mark. First tower is going to go down, so that is going to give a nice little gold bump there to Virtus.Pro. A much needed gold bump at that. They are trailing 0-2 in hero kills here at the 9-minute mark, but they have picked up their first tower kill of the match. Navi, though, they're not trailing behind. They're going to group up down bottom, and they're going to be able to grab the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane here. Looks like Dendi may be the one to grab that last hit. The top tower was destroyed by the Dire. Oh, and this one going to be destroyed by the Radiant. Nicely played by Dendi right there. Going to let the Siege get the last hit. Light of Heaven coming in for a deny, but not going to be able to do it on that level 2 Clockwork. There's also a big difference in offlaners here. Clockwork is lowest on that net worth chart. He is about 1.2k. As I mentioned, he's only level 2, maybe just now getting level 3 up as a creep did go down, but that's a big difference compared to his opponent, as it may be Igor on that Darkseer. He's level 8, and that's a huge difference. And he's been farming as well. He's about 2.7k net worth chart, so that's where this big gold difference is coming from. Even though the tower counts even, Navi leading 2-0, they've got a nice 1,500 gold lead, and now almost about a 3,000 gold lead as well. Already Virtus.Pro just off to a rough start in this match. They're going to have to make something happen soon, because already the difference in Midas between the Lifestealer and the Weaver making an impact on that chart, and they know they're going to get out farmed eventually. If they keep up this, like, all else equals, our hard carry farms, your hard carry farms, mutual respect, sack the off lane, Lifestealer is going to win. There's just absolutely no doubt about it. We're going to see Havost on the Lifestealer grab his phase boots. He does have a bracer to go with the Hand of Midas, probably going to be moving into that Drum of Endurance, and then I would guess just straight into an Armlet and then a Basher. That really is the pretty straightforward Lifestealer build we see, and it just works so well. That Armlet gives you great bit of survivability, gives you a lot of damage put as well. We've seen many an occasion where you can toggle that Armlet, and you can survive a just absurd amount of damage. There's really no other way to put it. So only 2-0 here at the 11-minute mark. A relatively slow game, but Navi already taking control of this match, I guess you could say. In the mid lane, Resolution on that Queen of Pain does now have Power Treads to go with the Bottle, Magic Wand, and Null Talisman. Dendi on the exact same build here, except he's got a 500 gold lead. Resolution with 450 in the bank. Dendi with about 900. So he's slowly going to start pulling away here. I think Navi's been doing a better job controlling these runes. Some of it has been luck as well. I've seen supports from Virtus.Pro check that top rune out of their jungle, and Navi down in the bottom, and of course that was the double damage that Kuroki grabbed was near that bottom rune. So Navi getting a slight luck factor there, as they have been able to get the bottom rune spawns where it is much closer to their territory. You'll notice that from time to time in games like this where both teams are playing defensively. One team will just camp the bottom rune, the other team will camp the top rune. Usually it's Dire versus Radiant, and that's how you know. It just makes sense. The jungle is so much more safe for them to be able to grab it, and they have the numbers advantage over those offlaners. Again, point in case that first blood coming out from the Visage. So again, we'll see Kuroki down here at the bottom rune as Virtus.Pro. That looks like they want to start headed to the top rune, and it is going to be a regeneration down here. Kuroki going to be able to keep it safe, going to scout out with the familiars. Resolution sipping up that bottle. He's going to come down, and it looks like they may just hand it over. Dendi, well, now he's going to come. He did clear up that creep wave, and it is going to get denied. There you go. The familiar is going to be able to just deny that regeneration, and poor Resolution. He's going to have to walk home with an empty bottle. Naga did venture down, but not going to be able to make anything happen. Naga does now have Arcane Boots, level 2 Ensnare, level 3 Riptide. He's level 6 as well. So Dendi needs to be a little bit careful here. He does have Ball of Lightning. He's plenty tanky right now, but anytime you have a level 6 Naga Siren in your lane, it can get a little bit scary because you can make things happen with that ult, especially if Chen pokes out of the jungle. Go Black doing very well also. Absolutely nothing slowing him down in the jungle. He's level 8 on that Chen, going to be working towards his mech. He does have the recipe purchased already, and is the rest of the stuff on the courier here? Nope. So I think he's just got the recipe and a couple of GG branches to go with the Arcane Boots. I don't think he's actually finished it off yet, but Navi going to get a little aggressive here. They're going to smoke up. They're going to throw a nice aggressive ward down near that tier 2 tower in the mid lane at the low ground of the secret shop there on the Dire side of the map. An interesting place to throw down a ward, given they haven't even taken out the tier 1 tower in the mid lane, so you can tell Navi expecting to get very aggressive here. All four of them, pardon me, everyone except Darkseer are going to be grouped up about the bottom lane. They've got Havost on the level 11 lifestealer just pressing into the tower, hoping that Clockwork will show his face, but Clockwork going to be a bit too smart for it, and we'll see Light of Heaven there. He's just near that tier 3 tower. He's going to try and block the creeps, but he's staying way the hell back. He's only level 5. He needs to be very careful, and he knows it. Not going to fall for the bait. Navi just may opt to pressure this tower. I think they're going to say, hey, Virtus.Pro, if you're not going to defend our tier 2 pressure, we're going to take out your tower, and Virtus.Pro going to be very happy with that, as they will group up in the top lane here to pressure the tier 2 of Navi. We'll see Chen move out of the jungle, and Go Black going to have a couple of creeps here. He's got a Centaur as well as a Satyr. And it looks like, yep, that's only 2 right now. Oh, no, there it is. He's got a troll in the background as well. So, yeah, that tier 2 is going to fall very quickly. All the while in the bottom lane, Navi going to be able to get that tower as well. That's going to take the tower count. Now 2-2. Both sides have totally cleared out their opponent's safe lane. Or no, they cleared out their opponent's long lane, pardon me. Navi has taken out both towers in the bottom lane, and Virtus.Pro has taken out both towers in the top lane there. Now Navi just going to rotate towards the mid, and Virtus.Pro just going to keep pressuring on. Naga now going to start chipping away at that tier 3. The Weaver going to be right behind as well. He's level 11. Navi just going to pressure that tier 1 in the mid lane. They're going to have to be a little bit careful here. That tier 3 actually taking a good bit of damage. Puppy going to port back, and that will repel the forces of the Weaver as well as the Naga. All the while in the mid lane, though, the Glyph going to be used by Virtus.Pro. No defense going to come its way. Oh, no, here come the ports, and Naga going to be able to save the tower. It's got 19 hit points. It's going to get taken out by the Radiant. Those siege engines are immune to the tower, or to the Naga sleep, it looks like. We are going to see a team fight engage, though. Darkseer going to use a vacuum. Chen going to blow the ulti here to start things off, and are they going to be able to grab a kill? Looks like Havost going to hop into a creep. Yeah, they're going to kill the creep. Now Havost going to be on the aggressive. He's going to try to take out Go Black. Chen down to about 120 hit points. Oh, no, and then we're going to have a pause right here. Havost going to get caught in an ensnare from that Dark Troll Summoner, and we'll see if he can finish off Go Black. He did use Open Wounds, has no cooldowns up right now. Of course, the ensnare does go through Rage, so that's a little unfortunate for Vost, but we'll see. Storm Spirit, look at that. He's in the ball lightning. He's flying forward. I think Go Black's going to fall here, folks. So bad time to pause right in the middle of the action in this team fight. Someone complaining about lag. Looks like Resolution actually on Virtus.Pro saying God lags. At first I thought he was saying, oh God, I'm lagging, but he's actually saying their teammate God is the one that's lagging. Oh man. Oh man, oh man. So I have no idea what they're saying. I don't understand their language. I wish my co-caster was here. Vilat. He says something. Jabin pause ot Navi no Virtus.Pro. New. I don't know. 1-800 Merlini. So while we're in this pause, though, folks, thank you for joining us here on Dota Radio. We know you have a lot of choices when it comes to Starladder coverage, but we're here with you every single day at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, at least for the first 30 days of Starladder. Thank you for joining us. here on Dota Radio. And the Twitch chat, I'm going to go ahead and post a link to the thread on Join Dota that someone made yesterday. If you want to post feedback there, bump it, get the discussion going. We'd be much obliged. And there you have it. Big shout out to whoever made that thread the other day. We do appreciate you trying to spread the good word of Dota Radio. Again, I'm Zayori, slated to solo cast today, but that's a-okay. I don't mind too much. It is a little more taxing on the voice, but all in good fun. So it looks like we are going to go here. We're going to resume. And how's this fight going to go? Uh-oh, Go Black going to fall just as we thought. No, he's going to survive. Resolution going to come in. That's going to be a big Sonic Wave. It's going to finish off Storm Spirit. Dendy going to pay the ultimate price. Chen still barely alive with 15 hit points to spare. The Naga Siren has fallen as well. This fight's still going to continue to ensue. Navi, Dendy there going to send a little heart because, oh man, he just got obliterated. So beautifully done by the Queen of Pain to hop in with that Sonic Wave, and that does keep Chen alive. Virtus.Pro going to get their first kill on the board following that pause into the team fight. That's going to make it 1-3 here at the 15.5-minute mark. Still a huge gold advantage in favor of Navi. They now have the tower advantage 3-2. They did take out that tier 1 tower before that fight began. About a 4,000 gold lead, somewhere about a 3,000 experience lead for our Radiant side. So Virtus.Pro, they're trailing. They need to make something happen again. They need to find something in these team fights. Looking at the inventories already, Havost on that Life Stealer. He does have the armlet complete to go with the Hand of Midas, Drum of Endurance, and the Phase Boot. So he's starting to hit hard, and he hits fast as well when that armlet's turned on. Always a scary time when a Life Stealer picks up that first core item. Crystal Maiden been able to grab an Urn of Shadows as well. That's certainly great news for Puppy. Going to allow him to be a little more aggressive as well, to go with that Bracer, the Boots of Speed, and the newly purchased Magic Wand. Darkseer already. Igor going to be able to grab that mech. Go Black going to be able to grab his mech as well. He had a good time in the jungle, as did the Darkseer. So both of them going to be able to have their mechs on the field. And Weaver's Farm, I mean, it's good, but not quite as good as the Life Stealer. God going to have the Perseverance and the Ultimate Orb to go with the Powered Treads, the Magic Wand, and the Ring of Aquila. So we were starting to get a little bit more scary, but again, a Life Stealer just going to carry a little bit harder, and I think he's going to get there a little bit more quickly. Looking at the net worth charts, still Life Stealer in the way by flying colors there. He's at about 9.1k, and God on the Weaver only at about 7.7k. So the gap continues to grow here as we see Havost in the mid lane just continuing to smack away at these creeps and rack up those last hits. Let's look at the last hits. Weaver actually does have more last hits than the Life Stealer, but still Life Stealer ahead again because of the tower advantage and also just the Midas. No big surprise there. Now, other inventories. I'm really curious what build Dendy's going to be going for here because he did pick up an Ultimate Orb first to go after those Power Treads. And interesting because normally we see Storm Spirit open with one of two builds. It's either going to be an Orchid or it's going to be a Bloodstone, and those are the two items that Storm Spirit tends to rush. The Orchid generally in situations where you want to have that mid-game advantage, you want that nice aggressive item first that gives you a little bit more right-click auto attack DPS and also allows you to shut someone down with that damage buff as well as the silence. Or you go the Bloodstone, you go that survivability. This is going to be a long game. We want to get that early edge. I'm going to be cruising around and I need the mana pool and I want the Bloodstone. Here the Ultimate Orb doesn't fit into that either of those builds, and that makes me wonder, is it just a casual Ultimate Orb that he's going to come back to later, or is he going to go for a fast Sheep Stick? It very well could be a fast Lincoln's, but that's a strange build on Storm Spirit, and I'm not sure that Dendy would do that here. I don't really know why he would do that here. I mean, it would help against the Ensnare, but it seems a little silly. It seems a little wasted here. If you want that regen and that survivability that Lincoln's provides, you're probably just going to go for the Bloodstone. So we'll see exactly what Dendy transitions into here. Now, Virtus.Pro going to do something interesting here at the 18-minute mark. They're going to group up about the Roche Pit, and they're going to go for a Roche attempt. He's getting low. He's down to about 1,000 hit points. The Visage Familiar is going to scout it out. Big stuns coming from the Familiars. They're going to try and make something happen, but nope, Virtus.Pro going to be able to finish off Roche. NS going to use the Song of the Siren, and that will secure the kill. Weaver going to be the one to grab the Aegis, and now Virtus.Pro, they're going to be on the defensive. They're going to move into the Ancients. Looks like Navi want to make it happen. Dendy going to move to the high ground. They're going to try and fight. The mech going to be used. Hand of God still available. A lot of damage coming out on both sides. Dendy taking a lot of damage here. Sonic Wave going to be used again to finish off Dendy. Chen going to fall very quickly as well, though. That's going to make it a 1-for-1. And looks like, no, did Dendy survive that? Holy shit. Dendy did survive it, but he went down at the end there. So Weaver going to be able to finish him off there. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. Crystal Maiden now taking a lot of damage. Darkseer going to be able to pour it out. Oh, God, almost going down there. He's going to be able to use the time-lapse. That'll finish off the Crystal Maiden. Kuroki going to stand his ground. Havos going to come back in. God going to be able to finish him off with the, with the Shikuchi. And Lifestealer going to disengage. Not going to be able to chase him down. So that was a 3-for-3 exchange. I thought I saw Dendi fall at the very beginning of that fight, but he didn't. I guess he ball lightninged to mitigate the damage, and I saw his body just disappear. Oh no, he's dead. What happened to Dendi? And then I realized he wasn't dead. Then I was like, did he buy back? How did he get back into the fight that quickly? And then I realized I'm just an idiot, and he never went down. So my apologies. Poor play-by-play there, folks. Still at morning time. Still feeling a little groggy today to start things off. So it is an even team fight, a 3-for-3 exchange, and that is going to make it 6-4 here at the 20-minute mark. A really strange engage. Virtus.Pro grabbed the Roche kill, of course. They tried to retreat to their ancient. Navi ensued, and then Chaos just kind of erupted, and they were able to just keep trading their supports for the most part. Havos, the main carries did survive, actually. Both the Weaver as well as the Lifestealer did both survive to tell the tale. And both of them right now 3-0-2 and 3-0-1. So they are very comparable in kills, and they are definitely starting to get a little out of control. Havos now going to grab a Skull Basher to go with the Armlet, Drum of Endurance, and the Hand of Midas. He's going to hop inside Dendi. Dendi going to pick up a Haste Room down bottom. And, are they going to go for Resolution here? They may have an opportunity to engage. This is when the surprise inside gets a little scary, and they may be able to make something happen. So how's the Weaver looking here? He does have the Aegis, of course, and the Lincolns. Another 2k gold in the bank, and we'll see what Weaver wants to grab next. Probably going to need something a bit more aggressive. Dendi still has not picked anything up to go with that Ultimate Orb, about 2k gold in the bank. Now, another big item has been picked up really on both sides. Visage here, Kuroki going to be able to grab that early Medallion of Courage, an item we're used to seeing on Visage quite a bit, and a BKB going to come out onto Queen of Pain. She's going to have Power Treads, Bottle, Null Talisman, Magic Wand, and then just move straight into a Black King bar. So she is going to have that survivability, and probably gonna have a slightly easier time in this match. Looks like Navi want to get aggressive here. Darkseer going to go straight up the hill. A big vacuum, going to be able to use the mech. He's going to get dropped before the fight even really starts, but Queen of Pain going to have to burn the ulti. Now the rest of Navi here. The Hand of God going to come out. Navi may find themselves in a little bit of trouble. We see the Lifestealer trying to do some damage. Now he's just headed for the hills. Takes a Scream of Pain to the face. He's going to take an ensnare. Havos going to be in big trouble here. Is the team going to save him? Nope, they're going to sacrifice their Lifestealer. Double kill now coming out for God. He's going to get a bonus bounty for finishing off that killing spree, and things looking rough for Navi right here. Virtus.Pro going to blink forward. They're going to catch Puppy. Puppy's going to be behind that tier 1 tower. He's going to fall. God going to be now on a triple kill. Song of the Siren going to come out. Kuroki going to get caught in it. He's going to get engaged on here in the trees near the tier 2. Is that going to be an ultra kill? No, it's not. Chen going to be able to grab that one, but that will be a 4-for-0 exchange in favor of Virtus.Pro. Navi just taking a sloppy team fight right there. Virtus.Pro now going to be able to counter push the mid lane. They will take out that tier 1 tower, and that will level out the tower counts a bit more here. That's going to make it, well, a little bit closer. That's going to make it 5-3 now. Navi still leading the way on that count, but Virtus.Pro very well may take 2. They're going to group up. They're going to pressure this tier 2 in the mid lane. Chen with plenty of creeps, plenty of illusions from the Naga. They're going to use the mech here to get the bonus aura up, and down it goes. So that's going to take it now. 5-5 in tower kills. Be 4-4. I can't count. Wow, I'm really out of it today. 4-4 here in tower kills apiece. So that's going to be a Virtus.Pro the lead for the first time in hero kills here. 8-6. If we look at that gold graph, a huge swing in favor of our Dire team. They're going to be leading, or trailing, pardon me, by just about 1,000 gold here or so, but that's pretty significant given that they were trailing by just about 6,000 a few moments ago. Now the experience lead going to shift in favor of Virtus.Pro by about 2,500 or so as they do clear out the Radiant jungle. Exactly what they should be doing here. Queen of Pain going to bottle up the 22-minute rune, a double damage that did spawn down in the bottom. So that BKB on Resolution really coming in handy right there, as he was able to just put out a massive amount of damage that last team fight. I think going for an Orchid next might not be so bad to maybe try and shut down that Storm Spirit a little bit, and just give him a little bit of extra right-click auto attack DPS. Let that Queen of Pain be the semi-carry that she wants to be. Virtus.Pro now going to group up. They're going to take out the tier 1 in the bottom lane. They're going to take the tower lead for the first time in this match now. That's going to make it 5-4 in favor of Virtus.Pro here at the 23.5-minute mark. More big items have been picked up following that team team fight. Shen going to be able to grab a Vlad's offering to go with that mech and arcane boots. 2 ogre clubs coming out, one in the hands of Clockwork, one in the hands of the Naga Siren, and now Weaver going to be able to make that massive pickup of a Desolator to go with that Lincoln Sphere. So Virtus.Pro, they're going to pick up some momentum from that team fight, and they're not going to stop. They're going to take out the tier 2 in the bottom lane. That's going to be all the outer towers of Navi down. Navi going to try and counter push in the mid lane, but they don't have enough time. They pressure that tier 2 very lightly, and they're all forced to port back to the base. They're going to use the glyph. Right now, only Crystal Maiden defending. All the port's going to come in. The glyph will be enough to keep that tower safe, but Virtus.Pro, they're committing hard right here. They've got a lot of illusions. They've got a lot of auras. The tower now below half health. God's Lincoln's going to tank a little bit there, and with that Desolator, they're able to just melt these towers. Look at God. He's going to tank that tower. He's going to take a lot of damage, and he's going to use the time lapse. He says, hey, well worth it. I'll trade my ulti for your tier 3 tower any day, suckers. But Havo's going to come out. He's going to engage on the Naga Siren. No ulti going to be available. Puppey going to be in trouble. Now Puppey going to fall. That's going to make it a 1-for-1 as Queen of Pain comes in with a big ulti. Darkseer in a little bit of trouble as well. Virtus.Pro taking the fight. Visage going to be forced to retreat. Dendi going to be forced to retreat as well. Now Havo's going to be able to pick up a double kill. Finishes off the Chen in addendum to that Naga that he grabbed early. Both carries still alive though. Virtus.Pro going to start to back out as the Darkseer buys back. It is a 2-for-2 exchange. They very well may be able to turn on Havost. Havost way in front of his team, but nope, they're not going to do it. They're just going to run Havost in hot pursuit though. He's got Light of Heaven in his sights and he wants him. Cog's going to be used. He's going to port out. It's going to get interrupted. Dendi, you can use items when you're using the ball lightning. He's going to catch him with a sheep stick that he just purchased in the base. There you go. Navi going to be able to pick up a counter kill on the Light of Heaven, and they will take the advantage in that fight. That's going to make it 9-10, still in favor of Virtus.Pro, and of course they got that tier 3 tower in the bottom lane. So I think that was a much effective exchange there in favor of Virtus.Pro. Nicely played from Dendi to clean it up with that Scythe of Ice. Wow, so let's take a look at this gold graph here. Now it's going to be in favor of Virtus.Pro by a nice margin. It's going to be about 4,000 gold or so, and, well, actually, experience advantage is going to go to Navi. They did get the better of the hero kills there. They did use a buyback, though, so it doesn't reflect that on the gold chart. Let's take a look at the net worth, and we'll see Weaver actually overtaking the, the Lifestealer here. He is at about 14.7k, Lifestealer sitting about 13.2, with Queen of Pain now third on the chart. So things looking better and better for Virtus.Pro right here. We'll see God go ahead and pick up a Reaver. Most likely going to be going into that Heart of Tarrasque. That's going to be my best guess here. And he's just going that tanky route. He's recognizing he needs to survive. Needs to be able to go toe-to-toe with that Lifestealer, and I think that's going to be a wise pickup here. We're going to see Naga Siren pick up the Sange, going to be working towards that Halberd, no doubt an item we've seen on Naga Siren so frequently, and that's going to be a huge item pickup for Virtus.Pro. That will, if they can disarm the Lifestealer, he's going to be in big trouble in these upcoming team fights. Now, almost a big item pickup here for Navi, as Havost does have 3.2k in the bank, no doubt pooling up for that Sacred Relic to be able to grab the Abyssal Blade, and very comparable to the Halberd. You're going to give him that huge, massive Abyssal stun, and that may very well allow him to change the tides as well. It's going to be one of these situations in the next team fight where both sides have initiation and counter initiation. It's going to be a matter of who can get the better positioning for the team fight. Naga is now level 11, of course, does have the level 2 ulti, Song of the Siren, a game changer at this point in the match. It is on a 2-minute cooldown, so that will help things quite a bit for Virtus.Pro. And we will see Roche respawning here just about a minute and a half, and that very well could become what these teams are going to focus their attention to, as an Aegis would really make this next team fight that much easier for whichever team can pick it up. We do see a Ghost Scepter on the field as well. Puppey on that Crystal Maiden, going to be able to grab a Ghost Scepter, and well, that's going to give him a bit more survivability as well. Will allow him to at least survive the wrath of the Weaver. I think that is certainly a warranted pickup here in this match. Clockwork, he does have Drum of Endurance. He's trying to get that BKB. Light of Heaven, poor guy, just having a rough game. He's been very low on the net worth chart this entire match. He's made a little bit of recovery farm. He is level 10, not even level 11 yet. Naga Siren actually out farming him at this point, and that is definitely rough to see for poor Light of Heaven there. We will see the Abyssal Blade now grabbed by Havost on that Lifestealer, so he becomes a much more scary force here, plus 100 damage, 10 strength. Oh, man. It goes through Magic Community. Don't forget. Very well may use it on that Queen of Pain. He's going to hop inside Dendi. They're going to get vision of the Queen of Pain, and down she goes. Wow, she melted quickly. I saw that coming, and by the time I clicked there, she was already dead. Didn't even have to use the Abyssal Blade. That was just an Electric Vortex before she could get the BKB off. And, well, down she went. Really nothing else she could do when you have the surprise inside. So Navi now going to be able to tie it up with that free kill 10-10 here at the 28-minute mark. And Virtus.Pro going to have a 4v5 on the field as Roshan respawn. So this could be a little bit rough for Virtus.Pro. They are going to group up around the pit here. They know he's coming up. The Visage Familiars for Navi going to be here as well. They're going to scout it out. They know what's going on. Both sides very, very cautious now, and really don't want to get wiped up in the Roche pit. Virtus.Pro going to have a big Roche advantage, though. Queen of Pain, or pardon me, not Queen of Pain, Naga Siren will allow them to move into the pit, and they can kind of commit to it, and if Navi initiates on them, just use that Song of the Siren to reset the fight. It is a little bit of a gamble, though. If Navi gets the Naga in their sights and they're able to crowd control her down before she gets that ultimate off, it could go south. So a little bit of a gamble on both sides, as it may be. And we'll just see Virtus.Pro here. They're going to clear their Dire Ancients, and, well, they don't quite stack it, but they do get the corpses out to get another spawn here at the 29-minute mark. And they're just going to camp out outside the Roche pit. They're going to keep eyes on the pit. They want to know what's going on, and they want to be right nearby to make sure they know what's happening in case Navi try to move into the pit and make something happen. We'll see Dendi use some illusions there, and he will send him into the pit as well just to scout it out, get a little bit more intel as well. So now Storm Spirit going to be working towards that BKB. He does have the recipe and the Ogre Club, about 800 gold in the bank, so going to be close to that Mithril Hammer, going to be a big item pickup for him. And Naga Siren getting close to that Halberd as well, but the big item pickup on Virtus.Pro going to be this Heart of Tarrasque now in the inventory of the Weaver to go with that Lincoln Sphere and the Desolator. I love the mix of items here. He's so tanky, but still has a huge amount of damage output. Of course, we know now that Desolator does stack with Geminate Attack to some degree, and it is just so fabulous. The damage output coming from the Weaver is going to be scary, no doubt. Both sides going to back out of the Roche pit here. Navi going to group up about the mid lane. The tier 2 tower in the mid lane going to take a little bit of pressure. It's got about 100 hit points left. They're going to use the glyph, and they will rotate in for a deny. So Virtus.Pro still going to have a big tower advantage here. It's going to be 5-7 as they have taken out that tier 3 in the bottom lane. And they will deny that tier 2 in the mid against Navi. So let's see, Virtus.Pro, they're going to smoke up, all 5 of them, going to rotate towards the Roche pit here, and Navi, of course, they are skeptical, they don't have eyes on them, but they know something's going on. They're going to try and sneak into the pit here. Virtus.Pro may be able to do it. Does Navi catch wind? Let's look at their vision. It doesn't look like it. Navi doesn't see it. A very crafty play from Virtus.Pro. Both sides have been counter-warding one another, but there are Visage Familiars. Those mobile wards going to give Navi the intel they need, and they're going to be forced out of the Roche pit. Roche still very high on HP, sitting at about 8k out of 10k. So both sides, again, just being so cautious here. Naga going to scout it out with the illusions. Going to be able, the mirror images, I should say, going to be able to check it out, see where Navi is, see what they're up to. The one of many reasons here why Visage is a valued pick, because those familiars give you so much valuable intel. One of them actually going to get picked off here as God finds an opportunity to engage. Both of them going to fall. I think he will be able to just summon a few more of those bad daddies, but still a nice little 200 gold bounty going to go in favor of God. We can't forget that as well. Those are expensive gargoyles. Oh, the hook shot from Light of 7 going to get shot there at Kuroki. Not going to connect. A bit of a whiff from old Light of Heaven. Nice try, buddy. I think it was it a blind hook? Yeah, it was. It was a blind hook. So you can't hate him too much there. He tried hard. So both teams really just posturing at this point. Sort of a lot of respect coming out, given that it's 10-10 here at the 31-minute mark. We do have a pretty even game on our hands. The gold graph spiking all over the place, but now I'm going to zero out around the 0 mark. Navi going to take the experience lead again here. Going to jump up by just about 5,000 or so. So a lot of respect coming out with both sides. They recognize that both teams have the power to wipe the other right now. It's more about the initiation power than it is truly about the rosters at the moment. So both sides just being so cautious not to step too far forward, not to give the other team that precious initiation to set up for a 5v4 engage. So now Navi going to be the aggressors in the pit a little bit. Dendi going to be using that ball of lightning to hop around here. He does have the life stealer inside, so he's looking for an opportunity. Virtus.Pro going to use another smoke here. Are they going to go into the pit, or are they going to go for it? They're going to walk past the pit. They're going to catch Navi. They're going to walk right into Kuroki. Ball of lightning in. They're going to engage on Resolution. He's going to get turned into a pig. Not going to be able to use the BKB. Queen of Pain going to fall, as does the Visage. Crystal Maiden going to get a nice ult off. That's going to finish off Light of Heaven. That's going to make it a 2-for-1 in favor of Navi. We'll see the Song of the Siren come out as NS and Go Black head for the hills through the Dire Ancients. And who's the other one alive up here? It's the Weaver. God just going to go off the mid lane, and he'll survive. So Virtus.Pro, they were the aggressors there. They thought they had the engage they were looking for, but they didn't find it. They trade their Queen of Pain and Clockwork for the Visage. A beautiful play from Dendi right there. He saw Kuroki got engaged on. He Ball of Lightninged in right away. and just focus that Queen of Pain. Hit him with an electric vortex, turned him into a little piggy with that sheep stick, and Queen of Pain couldn't even get the BKB off. Queen of Pain also has a Scythe of Ice, so her getting dropped at the very beginning of the fight going to hurt quite a bit. Now Roshan going to be under attack by Navi. God going to go in, he's going to try and pressure, and that will be enough to scare back the partial force of Navi here. One of them did have to go back to defend that bottom lane as it was pushing in. Double damage, Rune going to be grabbed by the Storm Spirit. Now we may see an engage ensue. Havos going to be here as well. All 5 members of Navi here. Visage on his way, not quite there yet, but he's got the familiars in the front lines. God now going to be in a little bit of trouble, may get engaged on here. He's going to get turned into a piggy. The rest of the team going to come in. Hookshot going to connect. Go Black trying to do some damage. Dendi going to get dropped by the Queen of Pain ulti. Now Puppy going to be in a little bit of trouble as he's trapped in the cogs. The battery assault doing a lot of damage. That's going to be a 2-0 in favor of Virtus.Pro. Darkseer now in a little bit of trouble. He's going to get to the high ground, going to try to port out. Do they have the stun? They don't have it. He's going to make it out. Now the fight going to continue around the Roche pit. Havos in a little bit of trouble. He's going to get caught in a snare. Down he goes. That's going to be a 3-0 now. Monster kill coming out for Virtus.Pro's God. He is 8-0-3 on that Weaver, and now Virtus.Pro going to be able to find themselves a Roche kill. So very nicely done. They had a poor engage, followed up by a beautiful one, and it will secure them the second Roche kill of the match here at the 34-minute mark. Aegis of the Immortal going to end up in the inventory of the Weaver, and Virtus.Pro, they're going to stay aggressive. A regeneration rune going to spawn down here in the bottom. Weaver going to head straight down to the bottom lane. Still 3 dead for Navi. What's the buyback situation? Not going to have one on Denti. He'll be up in 20 seconds. Lifestealer not going to be up for 45, but he does have a buyback, so this could be an interesting engage if it does ensue down here in the bottom lane. Virtus.Pro will just press out the lanes and try to take out this bottom lane of Rax. Now don't forget, the tier 3 is down here in the bottom lane for Navi, so they are going to have to defend these naked Rax. They do have a glyph, but this could be a little bit difficult. With the Desolator on the Weaver, there's going to be an opportunity just to focus down the buildings and really do a lot of damage. Havos still dead, going to be up in 20 seconds on that Lifestealer again. He does have buyback. Going to be all about the initiation here. God going to go straight in. Again, he's going to get that Desolator debuff up on the melee Rax. Melee Rax down to about half health. Glyph going to be used. Havos going to be up in about 5 seconds. At this point, he doesn't want to burn the buyback if he doesn't have to, but it's going to cost him the melee Rax. He's not going to buy back. He's going to respawn right now. Rax almost dead. At least the melee are. 2 more hits ought to do it. Song of the Siren going to be used. God going to be able to move in and finish off the melee Rax. Virtus.Pro, they don't even want to fight. They're going to take the melee Rax and they're going to get the hell out of there. Sort of hoping, I think, that they could force the buyback from Havos, but not going to be able to make it happen. Now they're going to turn. They're going to counter engage. Darkseer going to get caught. He surged forward. They turned on him. He got turned into a piggy, and down he went. Now God going to be the aggressor. Hookshot going to connect with the Visage. Light of Heaven taking a lot of damage here, but he very well may be able to survive. Dendi's going to go in, going to use the BKB, going to try to initiate on Resolution. Resolution going to survive. They're trying to finish off the squishy clockwork in the back. God now taking a lot of damage. There's the time lapse. Still has the Aegis in the inventory. He's such a tanky force. Go Black in trouble, though. He's going to fall. That's going to make it a 1-for-1 as Visage goes down. Looks like there was a buyback from the Darkseer. Chen gonna fall, and that is gonna be a 1v1. The rest of Virtus.Pro gonna be able to port out of there. Still not a bad fight for Virtus.Pro. They do get a favorable exchange. They force the buyback from the Darkseer, and they also get the melee Rax when it's all said and done. So a great engage, and now they do have that lane advantage down in the bottom. Glance at that gold graph, things spiking again in favor of Virtus.Pro. Experience still zeroed out, but slowly sliding in favor of our dire side. Weaver now still with the Aegis in the inventory is gonna sell that TP scroll. What's he gonna grab? He's got 4.6k gold. It's going to be an Eagle Song, so he's going to be working towards that butterfly, no doubt. A smart choice here, and that's going to force the hands of Navi to try and get an MKB out on the field. Let's see what Lifestealer's got here. He's got about 2.8k gold in the bank, so he very well could grab an MKB coming up here. Hasn't made a big item pickup since he got the Abyssal Blade, Armlet, Drum of Endurance, and that Hand of Midas oh so many minutes ago. Other big items that have been picked up, we did mention Dendi had a BKB as well as a Black King bar here. There's also a Gem of Truth sight on the side of our Radiant team, so they will be able to counter that Weaver quite effectively. Other big items on the field. Well, smoke going to be used by Navi as they do rotate through where that top rune spawns and into the Dire jungle. Going to be looking for an opportunity to initiate here. Again, big items on the Dire side. Queen of Pain with a BKB and a Sheep Stick. Weaver with that Heart of Tarrasque. Going to be working towards the Butterfly, Desolator, and Lincolns. Chen now going to be able to grab a Ghost Scepter and a casual point booster. Clockwork getting one step closer to that BKB as well, as Light of Heaven does have the Mithril Hammer and the Ogre Club. NS finally going to be able to pick himself up a Halberd, and that will help. So I'm not sure if he had it in that last fight or not, but certainly a big item pickup nonetheless. And Navi not going to find the opportunity they're looking for. Many of them still smoked up, and Virtus.Pro, they're just too wise for it. They know that they don't have vision in their jungle. Look at the ward coverage here. Well, Oh yeah, that's an illusion there. So they know they don't have ward coverage, and they're going to play it safe. They're not going to move into their jungle, recognizing they have no eyes on the team of Navi. Virtus.Pro just playing this so smart right now. They're poking forward and finding opportunities to push, but not overcommitting. We've noticed in these past couple team fights that they've just been chipping away at the structures and really not overcommitting. And again, they still have the Aegis, so they're probably going to want to get aggressive here. I think it's going to be despawning pardon me, before too long. Probably another minute and a half, 2 minutes or so on that Aegis. So they're definitely going to want to group up and get aggressive, and they'll do exactly that. Virtus.Pro going to take all 5 into the mid lane here, and they're going to try to make it happen. Now, this Weaver, God, has just gotten out of control. He is 9-0-4. Right now, he's got a perfect record. The Lifestealer, only 5-2-7. So there is a disparity between those heroes. Lifestealer now going to be able to grab a Hyperstone, so not going to be going that MKB as we were talking about. This is going to be a great opportunity for Virtus.Pro as well, because Navi has no glyph. They're just going to put God in the front lines. He can tank the damage with that Linken's and the Heart, but don't forget the Aegis of the Immortal and the Time-Lapse. Weaver is just going to be so hard to shut down in this team fight. The Tier 3 tower going to fall. Dendi going to go straight in. They're going to try to initiate. They're going to try and catch Resolution, it looks like, but now Havo's going to be the target. Lifestealer very well, maybe the first to fall here. Hand of God comes out, but it's not going to be enough. Down he goes. Navi going to be in big trouble here. What's the buyback? Lifestealer has it in 8 gold. Oh no, this is so bad for Navi. The difference of a couple of pennies here may very well cost them this mid lane of Rax. Now Kuroki going to fall. Lifestealer going to be able to buy back. They're going to be able to get counter kills on the Clockwork as well as the Chen. Aegis still in the inventory of the Weaver. They just can't kill him. God needs to man up right here and just burn that Aegis perhaps, but nope. Virtus.Pro just going to back out, so they are going to force that buyback and head for the hill. So that is going to be all the remaining gold of the Lifestealer. Whew, they do keep the Rax alive though. Well defended by Navi right there. Great initiation from Dendi. They didn't secure that kill that he was looking for right away to shut down the Queen of Pain, but alas, he did keep the barracks alive, and he took the fight outside of the base. That was what was so great about that play. Dendi did the Ball of Lightning just about right here where that Tier 2 tower would be, and he forced that fight outside of the base to give Navi a little bit of breathing room to buy those valuable seconds for Lifestealer to be able to buy back. Such a close call right there. Literally a matter of 5 gold before Havos could buy back. So just amazing heads-up play by Dendi right there to force that fight outside of the base. Weaver did rack up another kill though. He's going to be 10-0-5. The Aegis now going to despawn here at the 40-minute mark. Virtus.Pro still leading 18-15, and they do still have a nice gold lead set up for themselves. Somewhere about 5.5k gold and an even experience exchange right now. We've got an interesting match on our hands, and this is great to see from Virtus.Pro, the teams that's been struggling early on here in Starladder Season 7, doing very well against the Ukrainian champs. So the Butterfly now going to be completed on the inventory of the Weaver. That's great news for him. He is just one tanky force to be reckoned with, and he is going to have an open inventory slot as well with another 1,700 gold in the bank. Desolator, Butterfly, Lincolns, and Heart of Tarask. Again, I love the mixture of tanky items here with the DPS items as well, and I think if he went for an MKB here, that would probably work quite nicely for that extra bit of all-out damage. Now, Storm Spirit going to be going for a Shiva's, it looks like here. He does have the BKB and the Scythe of Ice, and now Dendi going to go ahead and pick up a Mystic Staff. So I'm going to guess that's going to turn into a Shiva's here to try and slow down the likes of that Weaver, give him a little bit of extra AoE damage for these team fights. A smart play. I love seeing a Shiva's come out onto the field, and we'll give Dendi a bit more survivability against that Weaver as well, as it will buff up his armor. He does have the surprise inside at the moment, but Navi, they're still in trouble here. Navi really needs to be careful. They didn't have a glyph in that last fight. If they're forced to burn the glyph and they lose this mid lane of Rax, that's going to be so rough. They did lose that ranged Rax down in the bottom lane. Looks like Creeps were able to finish it off. So Navi being one lane of Rax down from earlier on, definitely going to come back and haunt them a bit here. Roche going to be respawning in still about 3 minutes or so, so it is a ways off. Virtus.Pro looking like they don't want to wait for it. They are going to group up. Interesting choice to go down to the bottom lane here. I guess they see the Creeps are pushing in, so they want to be able to push in this bottom lane while they pressure the mid perhaps to do a sort of a twofold attack onto Navi, or maybe they just want to push the Creeps in so that Weaver can run in and try and pressure the Rax and maybe force them to use a glyph with a little bit of backdoor action. Very well could be the strategy they're trying to employ here. Navi going to move out of their base. They're going to have all 5 in the Radiant jungle right now. They're near that easy camp, sort of on the mid lane side of that giant plateau there in the south portion of the Radiant jungle, and Virtus.Pro going to be grouped up on the opposite side of the jungle. Both teams really without ward coverage right now. Virtus.Pro did throw one down in the high ground in the middle of the jungle there, but not giving them a lot of intel at the moment. Navi completely visionless in their own jungle. Navi will smoke up though. All 5 going to be smoked up here. The Lifestealer will be inside of the Storm Spirit as they do group up in the mid lane right now at where that tier 1 tower would be on the dire side of the mid lane. And Virtus.Pro, they're all just going to be grouped up about the Dire Ancients right now. Both sides posturing so keenly. Very, very cautious play. Again, both sides all around. A lot of respect coming out right here. You can appreciate that from both sides. They know that if they get caught too far forward, the opposition will capitalize. This match is probably going to come down to this next team fight. If it's at the Roche pit, it will be over Roshan, but the next team to get wiped is definitely going to be losing Rax. And in the case of Navi, very well, could cost them the game, as they already are down one lane of Rax. Now, Virtus.Pro, they're going to get more aggressive here. They're going to move into Navi's jungle, and they're going to clear it out. So, doing exactly what they should. They've got map control. They know it. They want to venture around. They have eyes on Navi in the base, at least a little bit here. So, they know that they can safely move about the jungle, take their farm, and this is great for Virtus.Pro. If they can keep this up, they'll slowly start pulling ahead in gold and experience farms, sort of keeping the siege up on Navi, where they can't leave the base, and Virtus.Pro going to be able to clear out their jungle. But they're not going to stick around for too long. Again, they're going to be very cautious here as they do head back towards friendly territory. Roshan going to be respawning now in 30 seconds, so he very well may become the focal point here. I think Virtus.Pro in the Radiant jungle trying to cut off that valuable access point here at the high ground, right above the entrance to the river where that bottom rune spawns. Great positioning from Virtus.Pro right here. They're just being so cautious once again. Probably overusing that word, but there's no other way to describe how this match is unfolding at the moment. So Roche going to respawn here. Virtus.Pro going to move straight into the pit. They do have great ward coverage. One on the high ground right outside of the Roche pit, and then again, one in the high ground here in the Radiant jungle. So they'll have great vision if Navi comes in. And where are those familiars? They're not nearby, so I think Navi suspects it, but they're not going to go in time. Roche going to get melted in a matter of seconds. That will be the third Roche kill. Aegis of the Immortal now going to be in the inventory of the Weaver, and we'll see the Cheese in the inventory of the Queen of Pain. So a bit of a misplay from Navi. They just got totally boxed into their base. Not much they could do about it, I guess. Maybe not a misplay. Virtus.Pro just handling themselves very well right there. They've taken map control. They boxed Navi into their base, cleared out all their wards, and then took Roshan. Navi really didn't have an option there unless they wanted to roll the dice and go uphill, and they could have been walking right into a trap for all they knew. So that's going to be great news for Virtus.Pro, though. Cheese and the Aegis going to be well, a driving force in this fight, no doubt. The Weaver, they're really going to have to kill him 3 times now. The Aegis as well as the time-lapse. At only a 40-second cooldown, so this is just that time when Weaver is so goddamn scary. He's going to have 4K gold in the bank as well, so he will be able to buy back also if he gets taken out. So that's another aspect of this Weaver, where really have to kill him 4 times almost. That's pretty insane if you really think about it here. So Virtus.Pro now, they're grouped up about the mid lane. They're outside Navi's base. They want to make it happen. They're looking for the opportunity. God going to go forward here. He's going to get caught into a vortex by Dendi. He still has the surprise inside. Not going to hop out quite yet. God going to get frostbitten. They're going to go in. Dendi going to try to engage. He's going to catch Resolution. Resolution taking a lot of damage here. Song of the Siren going to come out. Queen of Pain going to fall. Going to buy back right away. Now Light of Heaven taking a lot of damage. Not the fight Virtus.Pro was looking for. God trying to do as much damage as he can, but he's going to be forced to run. Still has the Aegis in the inventory. He's going to get caught in a vortex. He's going to fall. That'll be the end of the Aegis. Goblat and NS still alive as they start to head for the hills as well. They're waiting for Queen of Pain to get here. Havos doing a lot of damage. Will the Weaver fall? Down he goes. Not going to be able to survive. Does he have a buyback? Let's take a look at the status. A beautiful hold from Navi right there. Weaver, he does still have enough for buyback. So, well, definitely not what they were looking for there. That was a 3-for-0 exchange in favor of Navi, and they did burn the Aegis as well, so kind of a 4-for-0, and Queen of Pain did buy back. So it's just a multi-pronged victory for Navi right there, and I'm sure we can look at the gold graph and see it start to swing in their favor. Of course, it doesn't reflect the net worth from those buybacks, so not the best chart to look at right now, but oh man, Virtus.Pro may be in some trouble here. I think Weaver going to be forced to buy back. Navi going to have 4 members in the mid lane ready to counter push and take out this tier 3 tower in the mid. Dendi, the only one not with him. He is in the base defending against that bottom lane that is pushing in, as most of their structures have been taken out in that bottom lane, all the moon wells and such. Pardon me, Glyph going to be used by Virtus.Pro here, and I'm not sure what Weaver is waiting for. He's going to delay a little bit. He's going to buy back. They're going to engage. Havos going to be in trouble. He's going to get caught in cogs. Down he goes. He's going to be the first to fall in this fight. Now Virtus.Pro going to be the aggressors. Darkseer going to be in trouble. He's going to try to port out. Are they going to have the stun? No! Oh no, one more hit, and he would have gone down, but the Darkseer does survive. Nicely played by Igor right there. And Virtus.Pro holds. Their tier 3 tower going to have about 600 HP left, and they're going to group up and push in the mid lane now. Let's see, does Havos have buyback? He does. does. So this may not be the end for Navi. I think Virtus.Pro are going to pressure it, though. They're going to try and force that buyback from the Lifestealer, as they well should right here. We see Lifestealer. He hasn't bought any new items. He wants to make that Assault Cuirass. He's got the Hyperstone. He's got the Abyssal Blade, the Armlet, the Drums, and the Hand of Midas, but he's been forced to use that last round of gold to buy back, and he's going to have to do it again here. So not going to be any closer to picking up that valued Assault Cuirass. Now we'll see Virtus.Pro press forward. They're going to go straight for the base here. The racks are exposed. Glyph is up. Glyph going to be used right away. Rack's going to get taken down to about half health, and Virtus.Pro will back out and reset. They do force the buyback. Looks like that's all they wanted, and they are going to head for the hills now that Hivos did have to burn the remaining portion of gold. 48 minutes in here, 19-18. We've got a nail-biter, folks. Hard to say who's going to come out ahead in this match. Both sides doing just a fabulous job. If we're looking at the gold graphs here, we see Virtus.Pro. Well, they're leading by just about 4,000 gold, and well, actually trailing by about 2,500 experience, but still one hell of an even game on our hands. Both sides still have an opportunity to take this match, no doubt. Queen of Pain going to be looking for a Lincoln Sphere here, recognizing she's getting focused. He doesn't want to have to deal with the sheep sticks. Is just going to go straight for a Lincoln's. I think it's a smart play here from the Queen of Pain to go with that Scythe of Ice and Black King Bar. Still has the cheese in the inventory as well, and that last fight got taken out before she could burn the cheese, and without any tier 2 tower, or any towers in the mid lane for that matter, didn't have an option to be able to get back to the fight too quickly. So that's what happened to Queen of Pain in that last engage here. Shiva's Guard now picked up by Darkseer as well as Storm Spirit, so 2 Shivas now coming out from Team Navi. On the Dire side, more Ghost Scepters coming out as well. And now Naga going to have a push stick. So a Force Staff now in the inventory of the Naga, who also has a gem as well as a Heaven's Halberd to go with the Arcane Boots. An interesting choice. How come Heaven's Halberd is in orange? Why is it one of those items that's in orange? Is there something special about it? Is it because it has evasion? Is that what makes it orange? That's weird. No? Butterfly's orange. Desolator's orange. It's just if it's an attack modifier. I guess that's it, huh? Oh, yeah, that's it. Duh. Duh, it's orange if it has an attack modifier. Look at me. You learn something new every day. That's great. That's so great. I can't resist the urge to announce how stupid I am. On Team Navi here, they're going to be able to get a Halberd of themselves. Puppy going to be able to pick it up on Crystal Maiden, recognizing it's a much-needed item at this point in the match to be able to slow down those hard carries. I think that's definitely a warranted item pickup, and hell, VP could even use another one. That would definitely help them as well. Can never have too many Halberds, I don't think. But Weaver going for that hard carry Exodus here. He's going to grab a Crystallis, and of course going to be moving towards a Demon Edge, no doubt. I was suggesting the MKB, but I think Daedalus is going to be a slightly higher DPS choice here, and definitely the smart one. So Virtus.Pro definitely going to sit back. They will continue farming. Both sides now, again, we thought there was respect coming out before. Now that we're at the 50-minute mark, we're officially in the late game, folks. And these next fights, just picking off one stray kill here or there, could mean the matter of a victory or a loss at this point. Just taking out one person and making it a 4v5 could mean a team fight that you're not trying to take, and then ultimately your racks. At this point, you don't even need racks. You could just push straight up the mid lane from Navi's perspective at least, and just take out those tier 4 towers and go straight for the throne. That certainly is a possibility now that all these big items have come out. Navi is going to group up in the Dire jungle here. They will have all 5 in the mid lane. Virtus.Pro, they're going to come in. They're going to initiate onto Dendi. Sheep going to be used to start it off. He's going to be able to wake up and get the sheep stick out. Now all the chaos erupting. The double Shiva's coming out. Virtus.Pro taking way more damage. Oh no, Virtus.Pro getting too aggressive. Queen of Pain and Shen gonna fall. Visage gonna get taken out here as the Weaver goes back in. The fight gonna continue to ensue. Light of Heaven gonna be in trouble now. That's gonna be into the clockwork. God gonna go back in. He's got the time lapse. He wants to use it. Not gonna be able to get it off. The Naga Siren ulti. God gonna be able to get the time lapse off. Oh my god, that was such a big play. So close. He was down to just a couple of hit points left, and he does make it out. But Virtus.Pro, they're in big trouble. They've only got the Naga and the Weaver left alive. They've got no buybacks either. Oh no, this very well could cost the game for Virtus.Pro right now. 30 seconds. Navi is going to have a 4v2 on the field to kill as many structures as they can. Glyph going to be coming up just in the nick of time. That will delay the inevitable on the mid lane of racks here. The tier 3 tower falls. Melee racks fall. Range racks going to fall shortly after here. And I don't think Navi is going to back up. What are they going to do? Are they going to go for the tier 4s? They're just going to rotate bottom. They're going to take out this bottom tier 3. Again, the Glyph is available. Cheng going to be coming up in 5. Clockwork and Queen of Pain both going to be up in about 10 seconds. So we'll see Weaver. Oh no, Weaver went down bottom. He took out the tier 4 tower. Navi not going to be able to do it. They will be able to finish off a kill onto the Weaver, though, it looks like here. Yep, down he goes. So a noble effort from Weaver as he did suicide himself, essentially, trying to push the throne, forcing Navi into a base race. So it will keep his base alive, though. He does have the ranged racks still available in the mid lane, and the tier 3 still up in the bottom lane. Virtus.Pro didn't even burn the glyph right there. Oh my god. Wow, what a great hold. What a great hold. This game, it just keeps going back and forth. We're now at the 52-minute mark, 20-22. Virtus.Pro still trailing by 2 kills, but that Weaver play, just unbelievable. Without that global presence, again, Nature's Prophet would be coming in handy right now. He was totally ignored in this match, not picked or banned, and I think both these teams are just thinking to themselves, why didn't we pick the Nature's Prophet? Oh my god, we could be backdooring those barracks right now. We could have cleared this tier 2 tower in the top lane. So things continuing to just be interesting. Virtus.Pro still, they actually have control of this game still. They still have the racks advantage. They lost their mid melee racks, but they still have the range racks. They took out that tier 3 tower in the mid and that bottom lane and that tier 4 tower. So really one more push from Virtus.Pro and they could just take out the throne. XP difference way in favor of Navi, gold difference in favor of Virtus.Pro, and Navi just going to group up. They're going to go straight for the mid, it looks like here. We'll see Havost in the bottom lane. He's just chopping that wood at that tier 3 tower in the bottom lane. The glyph going to be used by Virtus.Pro. What are they going to do here? I think they may try and go for a base race. Pink is in the Radiant base. He's going to finish off the tier 3 tower in the top lane. No defense coming from Navi yet. They do have a glyph. Queen of Pain, not the fastest pusher, does not have a Desolator. Navi now going to be able to clear the bottom and the mid lane of racks. Queen of Pain going to be forced back, not going to finish off the racks in the top lane. The glyph not even used. Navi not porting back. Queen of Pain maybe running back a bit prematurely there, but recognizing exactly this. Dendi could port back, have that long range ball of lightning engage with Lifestealer, so really doesn't want to get picked off right there, but not the exchange Virtus.Pro was looking for. They've been handling themselves so well, but that was not what they wanted, and they're now going to be down a lane of racks. They're going to be down mid and bottom, and they're only going to have that bottom lane to their advantage. But in their defense, they have a tier 2 tower remaining that will keep their top lane of racks safe for plenty of time to come. And all 3 tier 3 towers are down for Navi, so the top and mid lane are exposed, and they only have 1 tier 4 left. So I don't know who has the advantage right here, but Virtus.Pro, 55 minutes in, they're going to take the 4th Roche kill of the game. They're going to melt Roche in a matter of seconds. Navi with absolutely no ward coverage. They're not going to see it. They're not even going to be able to contest it. And let's see, where'd everything end up here? So Cheese now going to be in the inventory of Light of Heaven on that level 16 Clockwork, and the Aegis this time going to be in the inventory of the Queen of Pain, as Weaver is completely capped out. Weaver now with Boots of Travel, Crystallis, Desolator, Butterfly, Lincoln Sphere, and Heart of Tarrasque. He's close to being able to finish that data list. He's got about 2,700 gold, but he is going to pool it up. Of course, he needs to have buyback in this upcoming fight. Buyback going to come in play huge here. Virtus.Pro at a buyback disadvantage, but Navi doesn't have it where it counts. Their Lifestealer does not have buyback at the moment. There's the initiation. Kuroki on the Visage, going to get caught by a hookshot. Cog's going to come in. BKB going to be used by Clockwork. Oh my gosh, NS going to be off to the side. He's going to use the Naga Siren ulti. It's going to catch a lot of members of Navi. That's going to split them, and Virtus.Pro going to be able to reset this fight a little bit. Not going to be able to have the follow-up damage, but there's the initiation. Oh, Jesus, this is looking bad for Virtus.Pro. They're taking a lot of damage. They may be able to turn it. The Shiva's coming out. All the AoE damage. Right now, Chen's the only one down. Queen of Pain trying to head for the hills. Still has the Aegis in the inventory. Oh, Clockwork going to get cleaned up as well. Navi looking like they're going to be able to take this team fight. The rest of Virtus.Pro are going to scatter. Clockwork ate the cheese, wasn't enough to keep him alive, and they still have the glyph, Naga, Aegis, they still have the Aegis, the Naga, the Weaver, and the Queen of Pain, all going to kind of split ways there, and they do head for the hills and survive. So Virtus.Pro, again, basically just throwing their supports away, suiciding them into Team Navi. They have to be more decisive about these engages. In that fight, Virtus.Pro had the engage onto the Visage, a great hookshot from Light of Heaven, but it seemed they didn't have the communication there to make it happen because there wasn't the follow-up damage to finish the kill. And then they all grouped up and they gave Dendi the engage he was looking for, that long-range ball of lightning. Again, Dendi taking the engage at that tier 2 tower in the top lane, or where it would be, forcing them to fight outside the base, so there's no way the barracks can take some stray damage and get taken out in the fray. Beautifully played by Dendi. He can initiate, uses that Shivas, and then the follow-up comes for the Shivas from the Darkseer, and all of a sudden Virtus.Pro as a team are down to about half health. That's exactly what happened right there. Now Navi going to be all 5. They're going to group up in the top lane. Virtus.Pro going to be all 5 as well. They're going to come and try and defend. The tier 3 tower in the top going to fall. No glyph available. Navi very well could just take out the racks here. Avos going to get caught in an ensnare. He's going to be in trouble, taking a lot of damage. He's going to hop inside a creep. Will be able to survive. He's going to hop back out with a lot more health, but he is going to be able to make it out. Now Virtus.Pro going to find themselves in a little bit of trouble. Sheep Creeps being used. The Shivas as well. Nice ultimate from the Crystal Maiden. That's going to do a hell of a lot of damage. Chen going to fall. Weaver going to be in trouble. Weaver going to fall. The buyback comes out. Havos got taken out in the Stray. Havos going to be able to buy back now as well. Darkseer almost going to fall. He's going to run. Resolution going to get dropped. He's going to have the Aegis though. He's going to pop back up. Navi just finished the barracks. They don't have a glyph. They're not going to be able to do it. Now Dendi going to get caught. He's going to fall. Uh-oh. This may be Virtus.Pro's opportunity. Nope. Dendi now going to buy back. God going to try to get aggressive here. They do finish off the Visage, and right now 4 for 4 on the field. Chen is down, as is the Visage. Visage Familiars trying to finish off the ranged Rax. They've got 20 health. They go into stone form. Are they going to be able to do it? Rax going to regenerate a little bit here. Oh no, almost getting the ranged Rax. They do it. There it is. Not going to have any other option. The melee Rax, all Virtus.Pro have left to prevent from mega creeps coming out here, and they have no glyph. Navi really could have capitalized there. If they had suicided for that last melee Rax, that would have been game. Game, set, and match. Nothing Virtus.Pro can do. I mean, they can try and defend against mega creeps, but good luck. Good luck. We see the Familiars continuing to pressure this top lane, but not going to be able to finish off that melee Rax. So this match continuing to be insane, folks. It really is. Navi with a mid and top still secure, both of them without towers, though. We're now at the 58-minute mark. Virtus.Pro with 23 kills and Navi with 26. Of all the games to solo cast, holy Toledo, folks, this is really an intense matchup. Navi and Virtus.Pro. All right, so we are going to move into a pause here. Looks like Weaver going to need a quick reset. Hopefully everything is okay for God. He does have 2,400 gold right now. Again, he is capped out with the Boots of Travel. This pause will give us an opportunity to look at some items. Havos on that Lifestealer, finally going to be able to grab that Assault Cuirass after having to buy back twice in a row. We see 2 Sheepsticks coming out now, 1 in the inventory of Dendi, and oh god, got to stretch out the back here. 1 in the inventory of the Darkseer as well. That's pretty much it for big items that have been picked up. We've seen most of them so far. Sorry, just taking the moment to rest while I have the opportunity, folks. Jesus. What a game to start off the day. I can't get over how close this is. Both sides have had big opportunities that they haven't quite capitalized on. Again, Navi just could have finished that melee Rax off of there. I think they didn't know that Virtus.Pro didn't have the glyph up, so they just didn't want to overcommit and then get caught by the glyph. Probably why they're still harassing with the Visage Familiars here to keep poking that Rax. Of course, just slowing down its regen, but just keeping them on their toes, so to speak, making sure Virtus.Pro has someone defending pretty much at all times. So, okay, we are going to resume here, folks. We're now at the 59-minute mark. Thank you again for joining us on Dota Radio for Day 19 of Starladder Season 7. I just got confirmation that it looks like there will be a co-caster joining me for the next game, a first-timer, too. So this is going to be interesting, folks. You're in for a treat for the remaining matches here of Starladder Season 7, Day 19. And big shout-out to Pod Joss. I always choose the weird names to try and shout out. Thanks, man. Do appreciate it. So, all right, more posturing coming about here, and I've said it a couple times in this match, but I think we're finally at the point where this team fight is going to seal the deal for either side. I mean, everything is just so fragile right now, especially compared to the huge items. Both sides going to be in 5-man units. Virtus.Pro going to smoke up. They're going to head towards the Radiant base. Navi going to head towards the Dire base. This could turn into a base race. Both sides looking to try and engage on one another, but not going to be able to find it. They're going to mitigate each other, we'll see how they want to react. Virtus.Pro, uh-oh, they're getting scared. They're going to smoke up. They see the vision, and they're going to head to the top. Oh, they're still smoked up, pardon me. They're going to head to the top lane here. Visage Familiar still chipping away at the barracks. Of course, backdoor protection is making the Visage life that much more difficult. Virtus.Pro, are they going to have the engage? They're going to come from behind. Navi, they're where that tier 2 tower would be in the top lane on the Dire side. They're going to go in. Light of Heaven going to take a lot of damage. The Shiva's going to be used. Havos going to get sheeped. He's going to take a lot of damage as well. Both sides are all still alive. A huge vacuum into the replica wall. Uh-oh, Darkseer, he's racking up the kills. The Ultra kill! Virtus.Pro gets completely scraped up. A 5-for-0 exchange. Oh no, Virtus.Pro, that's not what you wanted to do, my friends. They're gonna have to tap out. GG, well played. Navi gonna take him out after 60 minutes of gameplay, 31-23. An insane matchup to kick off day 19 here of Starladder Season 7. Woo-hoo-hoo. Insanity. Insanity right there. That's like one of those team fights. I just want to go back and look at it in slow motion. It seems the final sealing the deal was the Darkseer, though. The engage happened the way they all did. The hookshot came in. Storm Spirit went flying in. The Shivas came out. Another Shivas came out. And then Darkseer, big vacuum into the wall. And at this point, man, that replica wall hurts. it does some serious damage. Oh, Jesus. So that's going to be game one, folks. And we've got plenty more coming your way.